24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Connection Interruption podcast. It's me, Swing Live. Got another show for you guys today. There's some stuff to talk about, different little things, some new games, stuff like that, new updates on some things. I think I'm kind of getting into some newer games, but let's see what Ryan's been playing. Ryan, come on in here. Let's get started, get the ball rolling. It's a gloomy Wednesday. May the 4th be with you.
And also with you.
Thank you. Look at that. Wow, it's a Star. We should have made this a Star Wars show. I didn't pay attention. I'm bad with dates, but we really should have made this a Star Wars show. But we kind of turned it that way. We'll start off kind of with that. Have you been playing Lego Star Wars or no?
I didn't this week, but I had in the previous week. I probably will. Maybe Friday night I'll dig more into it.
Okay.
Because I'll have a little bit of free time over the weekend, so I could see spending some more time with it. I think it's very, very well done, but I just didn't get a chance this week. I think I'm in this struggle right now with sitting at my desk when I've been at my desk all day at work, and then coming home and I don't want to play like sitting at a desk.
Yeah. I can kind of relate to that because I'm on my second week of a desk job now.
Yeah, so it's a different beast, right? So
a little bit. I think mine's a little different just because I have like an electronic desk and I try to stand most of the day.
Well, I will have one of those when we move to our new office, I was told, so I'm pretty excited about that.
We just moved to a new office, so it's kind of the same vibe.
Yeah, so when I get back to being able to have a standing desk, I think it'll be different again.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also looking for a way to stream with the setup a little different. So I can like sit on the love seat or whatever and be on camera and still stream. So We'll see if I can come up with a way to do that. That's kind of on the weekend agenda between all the soccer games and stuff. But Friday night I could see basically tearing apart the game room again and redoing stuff to sit the way I want to sit.
Yeah, I mean the other thing about working in the office too, though, is like even once you're standing, it's going to be like the monitor thing and like staring at a screen. I feel like, which doesn't really help. But
yeah, that's not the part that bothers me as much as like I feel like confined at the desk. Like my keyboard's here, mouse is here. I'm like I did this all day, like so. I don't know. We'll see. I have big was, I have the big screens behind me. The kids tend to play on those more than I do at this point, but we may put another screen in the middle and take down some of the FCC stuff and set the room up a little differently and kind of roll with it. But yeah, it's definitely a situation where I am just not interested in sitting at my desk. So I probably should have got Lego Star Wars on the Switch because I can just pick that up and go wherever. But I didn't. I got it on Xbox because I knew my oldest definitely wanted to play it. And he's pretty much exclusive Xbox and PC. So that was kind of why we got it on Xbox, because I knew he would play it for sure. But But yeah, I mean it's very well done. It's a good game. The funny stuff that they've added, because it's a Lego game, like the little Lego humor, that stuff
Right.
really is entertaining to me. You've played it quite a bit,
Nope.
right?
Yeah, I'm like halfway through. Like nobody can die in the Lego games. It's like, I mean, even like if somebody like dies, they like it'll either be like them, they'll be like laying on the ground, they'll look dead, and they'll like open their eye and like look, and then they'll close it
Yeah.
again. So it's silly stuff like that, along with like the silly humor and whatnot, makes it fun. Now this question came up when you're talking about the streaming stuff. I don't know why I've never asked this before, but for whatever reason, it just came up. Have like any of your like kids or the young ones or anything ever showed an interest in streaming? Do they stream?
Oh yeah, for sure. So my oldest streams a decent amount. He has his own Twitch channel. And if you go to my YouTube page, you can actually see my youngest playing a bunch of different stuff. And it's really funny because he just plays random stuff, and I'll record him while he's doing it. And then we put his stuff up, like just based on whatever he played. And usually you get about 20 minutes of him actually spending time doing stuff. I'll put the link in the chat, and then, but it's really funny to kind of watch. Like, we have a bunch of different people that are streaming, and we stream a bunch of different things on that in that group. And a lot of it just goes from their Twitch page to the website. But I had that NHL series that I was doing. And then Parker, my youngest, has played like Marvel's Avengers. There's a video of him playing Avengers. There's a video of him on the channel playing Madden. So you can kind of catch little things. He definitely is more interested in it. My oldest doesn't like to be on camera. For whatever reason.
Yeah, you could easily just do a no cam stream kind of
thing.
He
does. Yeah, he does. And I think he's interested in like sharing a little bit of what he's doing, but he just doesn't have any interest in being on camera at all.
All right, that makes sense. Yeah, I can understand that.
But I mean, it's fun to watch him, like watch his streams, because like he plays games that I don't. Like he plays Valorant, which I would never touch. Really,
I'm thinking about re-downloading that and doing like, I kind of want to do like a fun little thing where like I play Valorant and CS:GO. If I lose a game in CS:GO, I play the next game. I play Valorant. But if I lose a game in Valorant, I play a game in CS:GO.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Just kind of split
back and forth.
I just want to see what would happen. It might make me bad at both, or it might make me better at both. I don't really know.
Could go either way.
Yeah, because like I'm gonna be like trying to do like a special ability in the middle of like a CS:GO map and just get headshotted.
Yeah.
Or forget to use them while in Valorant.
Yeah, I could see it being a problem, like going back and forth, because controls are a little different, right? So, I think it could be interesting, but I think it's fun to watch the kids play. I have recorded my daughter playing as well. I recorded her playing some Sonic. I want to say it was Sonic 2.
Mm-hmm.
The night after we went to go see the movie, they all wanted to play Sonic, so they were all playing different versions of Sonic from different consoles. And I haven't posted any of that yet, but she was getting so frustrated.
I have not played a Sonic game in like, I don't even know, probably like a decade, like over a decade, honestly. Like I've actually probably played like less than 5 hours of Sonic. I don't know why, but I never had a GameCube, and I know it's like, I think that's where it originally really was, right? It was like
no, it was Genesis.
Well, when for
original,
me,
yeah. Well, yeah, okay, yeah. So I would say it was probably not too long after that it released, like Sonic Adventure on Dreamcast, and then I think they put out the director's cut or something like that on GameCube. So you're probably right there. I mean, there's been a ton of Sonic games over the years. So, speaking of Sonic games, I bet Tay's played some.
Yes, that was one of my favorites. Started with Sega and Dreamcast. Yes.
Yeah.
What's good, fellas?
What's going on?
We're just chatting it up a little bit. We haven't really dove in yet to what we're playing. We're talking a little bit since it's May the 4th.
Yeah, May the 4th be with you.
And also with you.
I think we
We're,
speak like Yoda the rest of the podcast. Ready?
yes, do or do not.
But have you been? What's the last Star Wars game you've played, Tay?
Battlefront 2.
Like the new one or like the OG?
The OG one.
Okay, respect.
So you didn't play the Jedi Fallen Order at all?
No, I haven't. It's still in plastic.
Yeah, I was like, I thought you got it, so that's what I was wondering.
It's still in the plastic.
Okay.
I haven't tested it yet. I played the one when you fly. What's the one?
Is it TIE Fighter?
Nah, the one after that one.
X-Wing? I mean, there's some old ones. There's also the Pod Racer from like the N64 days.
No, the one for PS4. You just flew. What's one?
I'm looking them up. Squadrons. That's right.
Yeah,
Star Wars Squadrons.
Yeah, that's the one I played that one. I didn't like it. I didn't like that one.
I have that one. I haven't played it much, but I got it at Christmas. I want to say it was in 2020. I would guess I would think that was when it was. But I didn't hate it. I just think they could have done more with it.
Yeah, like
there was some
when I was playing it, you play games like, all right, I'm getting pretty good at it. Then you get bored with it. I was like, yeah. All right, I mastered the controls. The missions are not too hard. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop playing this one.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
So what else have you played this week, Tay? And then I'll dive into mine here.
All right, so let me pull it up so I don't be misquoting myself. I actually pulled out my old Street Fighter on the PS4. I've been playing hockey because it is hockey season, and
always hockey season, my friend. Always hockey season.
And I jumped back into Grand Theft Auto.
Okay.
I had a release some steam, so I wanted to go drifting and busting out the window at the same time.
Get you. So I played more of the Kirby, the Forgotten Lands, which I'm not going to say that it's going to win like Family Game of the Year, but it might. It very well could. It's really, really fun. And it's pretty simple. And I think that's the thing. Like how simple it is. Like you can make it. I mean, you can make it difficult, I guess. Like there's different levels, but I think it's a lot of fun. I think there's a lot of time to be spent for kids to play that game, like with their parents or with their parents watch or whatever. I think it could wind up being one of those games that hits one of those family categories at the end of the year. Now, they may have released it too early in the year for it to be considered when all is said and done come November when they put out those lists, but I mean, I think it's pretty solid. And the Kotaku review is available for everybody to kind of take a peek at. I'll put that in the show notes and in the chat so everybody can kind of see that. I mean, they gave it a pretty good score. So, I mean, Nintendo is Nintendo, right? Like you kind of know you're not going to get the best graphical game, but you know the gameplay is going to be pretty solid. I think it doesn't change in this one. But it is fully 3D. It's the first 3D Kirby game.
So it's an open world?
No, but it's 3D. The levels are 3D.
So did you pay full price? Because I know you like to get the discounts on stuff. No full price. Okay. All right.
No. I want to say I had a $10 or $15 off, like rewards.
A land
thing.
Forgotten. Or the Forgotten.
Forgotten Lands. It's really cool. Like,
looking at this article.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty solid. I would venture to say that they could have done more with the 3D worlds, but I think HAL Laboratories like did a pretty good job. There's a lot of cool stuff in it where like you're like, oh, I wish they had told me more about this or that, or like help me figure out how to do different things. But they don't really hold your hand, which is interesting. I expected the mechanics to require a little bit more effort to figure out, and they didn't. But you can go and hunt for like all the special stuff, or you can just play it as a platformer. There's multiplayer, which I didn't try. Like there's some co-op play in it. But I haven't done any of that yet. But I'm interested to see kind of if I really dive in. It's the main reason that I haven't played Star Wars is because I didn't want to sit at my desk. But like the games on the Switch, like I can just pick up and go. Like that's where it's at for me right now, and that's why Kirby is kind of hitting with me, I think. I played a little Fortnite again. There are Star Wars characters up on the store right now.
Nice.
For anyone who
would have thought?
Yeah, right. You're like shocked. I'm shocked right now. Fortnite. I played some FIFA. I had a buddy that asked if I would play some FIFA and kind of show him the ropes because it is free on PlayStation Plus right now. For PS4 and PS5. So you can download that now.
So are you going back competitive or are you dabbing in again?
I don't see myself ever being super competitive again. I may do a little bit of stuff like where I dive in and play some little like weekend events or whatever once the soccer season's over. Right. And like those like Battlefy weekend tournaments that people throw together, or like Sony has some events that they do. I'm just not into the Ultimate Team as much. And I think that makes a big difference for me. Like most of these events are all Ultimate Team based.
Your wallet thanks you for that.
Yes. Yeah. My wife probably thanks me for that too.
Ultimate Team is hard on the wallet.
Yeah, and
card packs.
I enjoy that part. Like I enjoy the game a little bit there, but it's not like I'm just never going to spend a ton of real money on packs. Like I just won't. I don't want it to be pay to win. I think that is probably my most frustrating thing with it.
Yeah, I was about to say we talked about that because some of the people really don't have skill; they just paying to get
and I would be fine if it was like all the packs that you bought were like cosmetic things. You know, like you buy a pack, you get a bunch of different uniforms you can have for your team if you want to use those, or like special celebrations for after you score a goal. You know, stuff like that. But like the ability to stack your team to a certain extent, I don't have an appreciation for that as far as the game goes. But yeah, I would hope that EA along the way, and I know they're making like probably $1 billion doing it, but I hope they consider putting some of these events together that they do that are not Ultimate Team based. Like give me both teams even at 82 or 85 or whatever it is. There's a mode for that. I think that's a lot of fun when it evens out the teams and then you just have to play and it is solely based on your skill level. And kind of which formation you run against whoever you're playing against. I think that's a big deal. But I don't know if I'll ever dive back in and only play that. Had they given away FIFA earlier for PlayStation, I might feel differently. I still prefer, for whatever reason, to play FIFA on the PlayStation controller. Almost every other game, I would say the opposite, but there's something about the two sticks being next to each other when
Yes.
playing FIFA that I like. But in other games, I actually want them offset, like where the Xbox controller is. So it's just weird for me. And like when Tay and I played Madden, I was like, "Oh, that's not the X." I was like, "That's not the X button."
Yeah,
Like,
hey, Mark. I knew he was gonna bring it up, so
Well,
you know.
all I was saying was
Stay
like,
quiet.
all I was saying is like the X button, because it's in a different spot on the PlayStation and Xbox, that it catches me off guard sometimes. But in FIFA, you're not using any of the buttons to specifically make a pass or a shot. You can just set it to have the controls be exactly the same on both systems.
True.
Like it lets your profile set up that way. So my pass button is always where the X button is on the PlayStation. You know, like, so it just feels different with that controller. But I played Warzone for about 10 minutes.
Is that a new record?
No, I mean, I've sat and played it a couple hours with some buddies, but like if I go in on my own and play solos, like I don't know. I don't dig it. I really want to like it. I mean, I put hundreds of hours into Modern Warfare 2 back in the day. But I just am not digging Warzone as much as I want to. I'm trying to think of what else. Kingdoms of Amalur, that was the other one. I played that. I got that on Switch. And played that for probably a couple hours the other night, and then fell asleep while I was holding my Switch in my hand. Not that it's a bad game. It was super late, and I was just kind of sitting there in bed playing. But that game is really, really fun, and it's a remake by THQ Nordic. And I've really enjoyed that. So that's pretty much where I was at. I'm sure I spelled Amalur wrong in the show notes. I think it's Amalur.
You are, yeah.
Yeah. So
I wasn't gonna say that, but
yeah, no, I was pretty sure I spelled it wrong. But I do enjoy that game. The strategy guide for that game, it's down here on my shelf somewhere. It's like it's a good encyclopedia thick. Like, yeah, I mean it's pretty intense. And I'm not sure if because I haven't really referenced it yet, but I'm not sure if the original strategy guide works with the new game, because there are some differences I've found already, or if it kind of holds the same. So will be interesting to see. But yeah, that pretty much is all I played this week. What about you, Mark?
My list is pretty short. Last week I played the Stanley Parable, start things off after the podcast. Played the new Ultimate Deluxe Edition. You know, it's typical Stanley Parable stuff. Nothing too crazy there. Still playing Escape from Tarkov with my friends. We've actually been doing really well in that. It's been a lot of fun last night. Felt like we were actually somewhat of a tactical unit. You know, being moving left, and we were just taking out fools on some harder maps for sure. Gonna be playing the Hunt Showdown with my buddy tonight. For you that don't know, it's kind of like Tarkov, where it's like a raid based, but it's a Western, and so got
I remember
revolvers.
seeing that.
Yeah, we played it before. Revolvers, shotguns, knives, lever action rifles and stuff. You go in and there's some zombies, but you're hunting for the main boss, which is like a spider or this pig thing. You kill him and claim the bounty and stuff. But you can leave whenever you want. And here's the kick of those. If you die, that character is gone. It's done. All the perks, weapons, items, everything you had on him, level, gone. And so you can have multiple characters going at once. But the more you get out, the more you level them up, and the more powerful that character can become. But once he's gone, he's gone. And so it's a pretty interesting game. It's kind of unforgiving, but it's a lot of fun. So we're going to get into that a little bit tonight. As far as mobile, still playing Clash of Clans. They just came out with a new update, which is pretty interesting. I'm kind of curious to see where they go. But it's more of a clan update. Now there's a clan village, and so you can collect resources to upgrade that village, and it's kind of fun because it's like it brings the players together a little bit more, like you're working to build like a village. So it's pretty interesting. I'm curious to see where they go with that. I don't really read much on the updates. I'm sure they've already maybe stated where they're going with that, but I like to kind of be surprised with that kind of stuff, especially mobile games, because like I don't get too serious about it, so I don't really need to know like before it comes out. Now, speaking of like new games coming out, did you guys see Fox is coming out with the Fox Kart Racer? It is a Mario Kart style racing game with places like or with the themes like American Dad, Family Guy, Homer Simpson, The Simpsons, and all that, all 9 yards. So it looks pretty interesting.
That's going on my list.
I'm super interested in running the tractor as Hank Hill so I can have some propane and propane accessories.
Propane accessories. Hey, yeah, that's going on my list.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how it plays. It's Apple Arcade though, right?
I don't know that, probably.
Okay, yeah, I don't know that it's a console.
It's Apple Arcade May 22.
Okay, yeah, so sometime soon, right? So I just want to play it. So, like, when I get hit by whatever special weapon that Bobby has, I can be like, damn it, Bobby. Like, I would definitely be using all those Hank Hill references on the way through.
I'm going to need you not to be doing the voices like that. It comes out May 20th.
Tell me that wasn't spot on, though. Let's go.
Yeah, it was.
If you want my son, I'll hug you.
So it comes out May 20th. So hold on. It came out it said May 6th for the Badland Party. Then May 20th is the Warp Kart Racers.
Okay.
So it's coming out in sections.
Well, Badland Party is a separate game.
Okay.
Badland Party is like, if you've ever seen Ori and the Blind Forest, like it's kind of artsy like that. Like a lot of the level is like black. But the characters you play as are like bright colors. It's a puzzle platformer.
All right, so they got
so a couple of different games, yeah.
So for the game, for the kart racers, it's May 20th. 16 maps drawn from your fan favorite episodes.
Oh no!
So
that's 16.
Yeah, 16 maps. So American Dad, Family Guy, King of the Hill, Solar Opposites. Yeah.
So while we're on this new game topic, because we haven't talked about new games in a while, really, other than Star Wars. I know last week we wanted to get into it, but we didn't. Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Yeah.
Like, Mark, did you see that game? It's like Animal Crossing, but with Disney characters, and it's going to be free to play on PC, console. Obviously, it's going to be microtransactioned out the yang. But there's a founders pack that you can buy for Disney Dreamland Valley. It's not for pre-sale yet, but Gameloft is making the game. So it's interesting because Gameloft has done a ton of different stuff. Let's see, Asphalt 9. They have such a long list. They did the Disney Magic Kingdoms game, which was a lot of fun.
Wonder how much this is going to be.
It's free to play.
Oh, really?
Yes. It's going to be a free to play game, and it's going to have microtransactions. But the way that Gameloft was describing it is that they're like the microtransactions will open up additional areas in cosmetics. It's in the Gameloft support section. They have a big like frequently asked questions things, and it says Disney Dreamlight Valley free to play. And it says during the early access period, fans who purchase the Founders Pack or have an Xbox Game Pass subscription will be the first to explore Dreamlight Valley. and will get exclusive rewards and limited edition items that they'll retain once the game officially launches next year. After early access, the Disney Dreamland Valley free-to-play will be free to play and have purchasable expansion options to enhance your gameplay.
So it's coming out on PC, Mac, and console.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that one.
Yeah, it looks really, really cool. The thing that I got excited about was that one of the questions in the frequently asked questions was, what characters can I expect to meet in Disney Dreamlight Valley? And they basically said nothing's off the table.
Right. Star Wars?
It doesn't say Star Wars, but it said the game will launch with tons of fun Disney and Pixar characters with frequent post-launch updates adding new faces to the valley.
So, since Disney owns Marvel, what is that an option?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if that's an expansion. So I'm going to guess, and I'm throwing this out there, I'm going to guess you guys didn't play the Disney Infinity games.
You are correct.
Like with the toys, like the Toys to Life characters, right? So the first one was all Disney characters. The second one was Marvel, and the third one was Star Wars. But you could use all the characters from 1 and 2 in the third one. Like, so they had all these different levels and things, but you had to buy the toy to sit onto a base to put the character in the game into Disney Infinity. Well, on PC, you can buy those games and you don't have to have the toys. You just buy the Ultimate Edition and then you can change the characters whenever you want.
So is it like a board game or something?
No, it's like at the time when it was released, you could, like, people could go online and create their own levels and upload them. It was really, really cool. My kids and I played it a ton. Like we literally have every single one of those characters that released. And it was a blast. Like the Marvel was fun. The Star Wars game had some spoilers in it.
Spoilers.
Like yeah, so to the movies. So one of the comments was like, there's a quote in one of the storyline things where Rey says something about her cousin, like called Kylo Ren her cousin or something. Like it was like this weird like spoiler moment.
So if you weren't really a Marvel head, you wouldn't catch it.
Well, if you weren't a Star Wars, if you weren't a Star Wars fan, like you wouldn't catch it for sure. But when it happened, and I went, well, huh? What? Like, right. And it was before that movie had kind of.
How do you mess that up?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how they did it, but it was just really funny. But I loved playing those games with the kids, and some of the levels that people created were super fun. But then they essentially killed it. So, I mean, that was kind of a disappointing thing, but we played a ton of that on Wii U. And Nintendo like had some special things on it. It was really, really neat. But I don't know. I think like just if they do this Dreamlight Valley right, it could be awesome. Like if I can build a house in the Disney World and like there's my house and then I can go like Animal Crossing it up and everything's Disney related, like I would be all in. So it could be.
I'm gonna put that on my possible list. I'll check it out.
I mean, dude, it's free. Like any free to play game is worth taking a shot on. Because if you don't like it, so be it. Like, what are you out? You know, when they're doing the early release, like the preview, like you're not out anything like by just jumping in. So now if you start buying stuff and then you get like $20 or $40 in, then realize you don't like it, that could be an issue. But I mean, Screen Rant is comparing the game to Stardew Valley, which I thought was a great game. So if you give me Stardew Valley and put in some Disney stuff and make it look pretty, like I'd probably be super excited to play that game. But what's with Twitch? Mark was like, there's
Well,
something-
so for those one of the top creators, Saikuno is his name. Some of you may know him. He's like top 50 for most followed. I don't know which number he was, but he's also like top 7 top earning. And so when they were writing out a contract with him, they misspelled his name in the email, which, some people, it's like, oh, no big deal. But I feel like a lot of people aren't feeling supported by Twitch. And this comes with also like within the last week or two, Twitch kind of talking about potentially this summer cutting streamer pay from 70-30, 70 going to the streamer, to 50-50. So taking 20% away from content creators, which is no bueno. And then, but coupled with this, within the last week, or even a couple days ago, I think it was Dr. Disrespect tweeted saying how he's unfollowing YouTube Gaming because he said, if they don't support me, why should I support them? And so kind of a cryptic tweet there. So I feel like a lot of content creators out there right now just aren't really feeling supported. I mean, YouTube's always had their stuff with ad revenue, yada, yada, yada. I mean, Twitch has kind of hitting that trend. I mean, I felt like Twitch used to not be that way, and now I feel like it's getting more corporate, and it's just kind of on this downfall. And it's, I mean, you see more and more content creators leaving as months go by to like somewhere else. Now they might think that somewhere else is better. It might not
isn't
be.
always greener, though, right?
Right. And
always.
I agree, but the general question is Twitch on a downfall? I don't know, but
well, the Sakuno thing is, if I hope I'm saying his name right, like the misspelling of his name is literally one character away on the keyboard, right? Because didn't they just spell it Sukkuno?
Yeah, it's a typo, but
it's just a typo. And it's not like it's a common name. Should they have double checked it? Absolutely. But it's not like they spelled it with a letter that's not right next to the Y. Because its name's spelled Sykkuno.
And they hit it. Okay.
And they spelled it Sukkuno. The U and the Y are right next to each other on the keyboard.
Yeah, true.
So it could be any number of things that caused it, but I would guess it was just a typo. I'm sure it wasn't somebody being like deliberately disrespectful.
No, I think. Go ahead. No, go ahead. I was about to say, I think we're in a time where people want to find something to complain about and use that to catapult to get what they want, type thing. I don't know, because I've been seeing a lot, not just with Twitch. Because remember when Caffeine was kind of like Twitch's competition for a minute?
They wanted to be.
Yeah, then they dropped off.
They weren't ever. And it's, well, Microsoft tried to have their service kind of compete, and they brought in some big names and took a swing, right? Like, no pun intended with swing being here. But they took a swing. They took a swing at Twitch, and then just said, "Yeah, we can't."
And then it's like people left those services saying, "Hey, well, they don't care about us, so why should we be on it?"
Well, let's be real. They're businesses. They don't care. Like, yes, the content creators have to be on the platform for the platform to make money.
Right.
But people are just constantly rotating in, and there they are. It's not like it's going away. Is it crappy if they take away a higher percentage? Absolutely. But like, if Twitch doesn't exist, or if these other platforms don't exist,
well, it's not. Oh, hold on. That, I mean, let's not say don't exist, right? Let's make it a little bit more realistic. Like, let's say like Twitch's top 100 earners all go to YouTube or Facebook, all go to competitors. That whole rotating in thing, I think maybe eventually, but I mean, I kind of feel like most of these platforms nowadays, is kind of like the NBA, where people are more kind of fans of players rather than teams, right? I mean,
Facts.
you'll see someone move teams, and it's like, okay, like, oh, I guess I'm a Suns fan now because LeBron's at the Sun or whatever, something crazy. You know what I mean? Like, and so like you'll see that. So I kind of feel like if your top 100 earners all go to YouTube, I mean, I'm gonna say pretty much the majority of those viewers are gonna go to YouTube. Now, if it's a terrible platform like MLG TV that used to be like thing back in the day competing with Twitch, or the Microsoft one, I could see that. But I mean, YouTube is another very well established. Now, right, the grass might not be greener, but like, they're still in a contract. So that, let's say they all leave for a year. I mean, you got to worry about your company. I mean, that's long enough for Twitch to go under.
Yeah,
And
true.
it's like, or at least maybe not go under, but take a significant hit to where they have to cut a lot of programs, cut a lot of jobs, etc. It's just, so my point is like, I mean, it's about the viewers, but it's about the creators first. If you don't have people creating, you're not going to have people watching. And that is my thing is like, yeah, I mean, the name thing, I thought the same thing, like, oh, whatever. I don't even know if I would have noticed reading the email, but I could see where he's like on the fence, and he's like, okay, well, like if you already felt like you're not cared for, and then you see people spelling your name wrong, you're gonna just be like, well, this kind of just proves it. It's kind of almost like one of those things when like when you start thinking about something a lot, you start seeing it. Like no one appreciates my work, and then all of a sudden you start noticing when people don't appreciate your work versus when people appreciate it. So I think it's one of those situations, but I think Twitch really just needs to kind of get their stuff together, because I really feel like they're kind of tripping. I don't want to see them fall.
I don't care if they fall.
Why?
Because there's other options out there, and eventually, like when you start taking the percentage, you're giving the platform. You pretty much have said like, we can give this platform and we can take it away, right? Like if you don't want to be part of that community at 50-50, then you don't have to be. But there's other things at YouTube, like YouTube is ridiculous when it comes to the copyright things. Like it's just absolutely nuts.
Yeah, you can't get nothing off on YouTube.
I can't even play a game where it uses the menu music 95% of the time. Like in NHL, when your team scores a goal, they're like, you have a goal sound that plays, right? The goal sound was copyrighted. Like I had to go in every week that I did that series, I had to go in and fight to get the monetization piece back. And it just got to the point where it wasn't worth it. Like I'm like, do I want to keep doing this series when I'm doing more work every week, like fighting for a copyright infringement notice in Saudi Arabia, or like I think the last one was in like Qatar. I was like, what? Like I don't care. Like I just think that there's gonna be restrictions. Each one's gonna have its downfalls, and some of them will be just fine. Like other ones won't. I don't want to like. I enjoy being on Twitch. I enjoy how it works. I like the way that I can set myself up and go. I enjoy that it doesn't take long to get in when I'm using Streamlabs or StreamYard, whichever one we're on at whatever given time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't need them to put content out.
No.
Like,
but, and this is my thing. I'm coming from a gaming standpoint and also the DJ standpoint. It's like, okay, you want us to be content creators, but you put handcuffs on us. And I think Twitch gives more freedom than the rest of them. Because YouTube, it's like every time I post anything, it's red flags all over the place.
It's not them putting the handcuffs on you, though. Like, that's the thing. Like
it's the companies that own the rights to whatever you're using,
right? And it's unfortunately they're doing it to like protect them 100%, but also protect you in a way. You know what I mean? So like as far as like that, the copyright stuff and that goes, it's like, you know, it's just
I just think
there's not a whole lot.
if you own a game and you're streaming the game, you should have the ability to like play that game in its entirety and not have to worry about like, it played the theme.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because if I purchase the game, don't I become an owner of?
No,
you have rights to use it, but you
Right,
don't
that's-
own the content.
If you purchase a phone, if you can't reproduce it.
No, I'm not saying like that, but it's like, okay, if I bought the game and I have the rights to play the game, so shouldn't that give me leeway if I'm streaming? Like, I paid, I want to play it, I want to broadcast my clips, but as soon as I put everything up, I'm getting flagged, or it has to be taken down, or I'm getting a ban. But isn't this what this website's for, to put content out?
Yeah, I think there's just a fine line in that. Like when it comes to DJing, you don't own any of that music unless you're paying an ASCAP and BMI fee, which I'm willing to bet you don't, because they're stupid expensive.
Actually, I do have a license and we still get tagged.
Yeah, but the license doesn't cover it depends on the licensing group you went with, whether it covers online playing or not. Like it's just like in an arena, like at a soccer game or at a baseball game, and they play stuff. They have to have the license in order to do that. Like, and if you go watch Netflix and watch an old movie from like the 90s that had a crazy soundtrack, and there's sometimes when a different piece of music is in the background of the movie because it wasn't licensed for the streaming service. Like it happens. Like I just think it's interesting because DJing is another beast. Because I used to do it. I understand like where you're coming from. Like, but the licensing for music is so weird. But I think if it's in the menu of a game, you shouldn't have to go into the settings and disable it. I feel the same way about Fortnite. Fortnite has all those dances and stuff you can buy, right? Where it's like a 10-second clip of the song. And it immediately gets you flagged. Immediately.
I mean, I'm trying to remember, who is that? Is it the FCC? Is that, or what is it? Who runs that? Is it
FCC.
I think it's the FCC.
Okay.
FCC.
Well, I think we can all agree that like the laws are kind of outdated in a way on what, and I think fair use should probably be updated. But then again, I'm not the one creating it. Maybe if it was my music, I would feel different. But I mean
I fight
the whole
with fair use
copyright
all
thing
the time.
I know the whole copyright thing is such a rabbit hole. Like that's not even like too much of a concern of like mine, because it's like there's nothing really these like, you know, these platforms can do, and like that's not even why I think Twitch is like on a downfall. Like for my, like if we're gonna talk that, let's talk about how the platform handles things, right? Like Twitch just starts handing out strikes left and right, and just starts banning people, and like, but it's not like. And then eventually, like they're not proactive at all. They're just like, oh, like hey guys, now you can delete all your clips. Like or that was their first initial thing. They're like, oh, you're getting banned, sillies, just delete all your content. Then you can't get banned. It's like, okay, yeah, like thanks for letting me like. But at first, these content creators had to go in and manually delete these probably. Just under millions of clips. I mean, if you got 100,000 people and they all clip one thing, that's 100,000 clips. And there was no fast way of doing it besides clicking each one and deleting it. And someone had to spend their entire day doing that. And then eventually they come out with a system which is better, I guess, to where you can delete everything when you need to. And then like months later, they're like, hey guys, like here, I mean, I had to take a survey like, hey, like here's our new copyright detection. It's like, okay, yeah, you're too late, $1 short. But I mean, that's like that's more of the problem is like how Twitch handles their platform, how they treat their creators, and I mean, communication is like a big thing. It lacks. They can't even spell people's names right, which I get is a small thing, but it adds to it. And you know, it's just And yeah, is the grass greener on the other side? No. It doesn't matter if Twitch falls and you can go somewhere else? I would argue yes. I mean, think about if you're the main portion of your community is on Twitch, which is my case. You know what I mean? I guess I don't really count Twitter, but it's like I don't want to see that. Like, you work hard, you build up a community on Twitch, and it's just like, oh, hey guys, we did a terrible job of maintaining our company and keeping people on Twitch. So now, yeah, it's over. Just go ahead and jump onto YouTube. I can't imagine being a Mixer streamer and being like trying to like shovel over much of your community as you can to another platform. It just
you don't think
awful.
that most of those people came over though?
Maybe not. Who knows? Maybe your username is taken on Twitch and not Mixer. There's plenty of problems.
When you created your Twitch, you didn't go onto every other platform and try to take it?
No.
Make sure. See,
but
I just went and got all of
it. Not everyone thinks like that. You know what I mean? Like, what if it's like some 16-year-old kid who
No,
started on Mixer? There's, you could talk about the possible endless things. But do I think most people jumped on Twitch? Maybe. But maybe the reason you're doing so well on Mixer is because there wasn't a whole lot of competition on there. And then maybe people only used Mixer, and you go into Twitch, and then they start finding other people they like to watch, and then they stop watching you. I don't know. The possibilities are endless, but regardless, having to just uproot everything and move somewhere else is just not a good idea. And a lot of times, like when these streamers would take on new contracts, it really wouldn't work out for him well at all. Like Nate Shot, Matthew Haig, great example. He went in. He was the top Call of Duty streamer back in like Black Ops 2 and stuff, and he got paid millions of dollars to go stream on MLG TV, and then maybe averaged 500 viewers when he was getting tens of thousands on Twitch. It's just, I just wish, it just doesn't make any sense to me how you don't like take care of the one thing that's making you money. Like, your content creators are literally your number one,
How many new people and new channels do you think pop up on Twitch every single day? What are you
hundreds of thousands, probably, or tens of thousands?
So there's no fear of those big ones dropping off because somebody else will slide right in, right?
No, I disagree.
Because everybody's not that good. I'm pretty sure, like,
most of the people I watch on Twitch aren't that good.
Yeah, but
I'm not watching because they're like high level. I'm watching because I'm entertained by what they're doing in addition to playing.
Let's compare it to like TV. A new show just ends. Oh, something will fill its place. That's not always true. You might go through seasons and seasons of just terrible shows. That's like, oh, Survivor one day is going to end. Oh, it'll take something will take its place. Yeah, maybe, but like doesn't always mean it's going to be that good. Look at Breaking Bad. It's such a good show. Something will take its place. Yeah, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, what was that on AMC? What show do you guys watch on AMC?
Walking Dead.
I'm surprised, but yeah, okay. But then that ends. What's going to take that like place? It's just like it's a maybe, right? But maybe they ended Breaking Bad, but now I'm going to go watch Yellowstone over on what is that on Paramount? And it's like, okay, so Paramount's the YouTube. And so now AMC's losing out on that because they got rid of Breaking Bad. And it's just, I think that's an okay comparison.
Yeah, like when Game of Thrones went, like, it was over with, everybody switched. It's like, okay, what do we got now?
How many HBOs?
People find other stuff to watch. That's my
saying.
Point.
But how many subs did HBO lose because Game of Thrones ended?
A lot.
Probably a bunch, but at the same time,
that's the Twitch. That's the Twitch when the creators go away.
But I'm not paying to watch stuff on Twitch unless I subscribe to that person. It's a different subscription model. Sort of. Ads, yeah, but like I'm not paying for that ad. Like when I log in to watch somebody on Twitch, Twitch is being paid by that company for the ad. And I get that. But what I'm saying is like if you say like HBO lost subscribers, yes, they did, but I'm paying $17 a month or whatever it was for HBO. Or like Netflix. Netflix is $17.99 a month now. They're upping it to $19.99 a month. and they're going to start showing ads on it.
Yeah, I'm about to cancel that.
Right. But you're going to cancel it, but you are going to find something else, somewhere else, to occupy the time that you were spending watching stuff on Netflix.
Yeah, crack a fire stick.
Yeah,
Did I say that out loud?
Yeah, you did. But like, what I'm saying is like, just because one streamer drops or they lose a streamer, and I get from the streamer side, Mark, I understand where you're coming from because you stream on the platform. I get it. And we stream this show on the platform. We also stream this show on YouTube and on Facebook and get more views over the course of time from one of the other platforms. And we don't pay for the ads either. Like, we're not paying to advertise this show because Facebook gets us more generated views, like without paying for the ads. The algorithm's different, obviously. But it's just a different thing for me. Like, if a streamer that I watch stops streaming, I move on to somebody else.
But like, how long of a gap is it? Okay, like say Twitch loses 100 the top streamers.
Mm-hmm.
You probably gonna get 20 or 30 back. That's gonna be as good as the 100 that you lost. How long of time before you get a good 100 again?
But people still pop from stream to stream of people they don't even follow, and they watch the ad because they want to see the content. So
I
think that's where they're making their money.
Here's the other thing about the multiple, like, technically, well, I mean, all these bigger streamers are in contract, so they can't stream to these other ones, and technically the Team Frisch's is affiliated, so we're already breaching contract by streaming to other services.
They're not paying us anything though either.
Yeah, but when you sign up for affiliate, you sign saying that the live content on Twitch will only be on Twitch. Now you can upload it to Facebook after you're done going live, but technically it's a breach of contract. But we're so small that they would never even notice, nor they would just tell us to stop. You know what I mean? Cease and desist. So, but I mean, going from that, I just think that it's just a bad business strategy to be like, well, they're all, it's like the Russians during World War II. It's like, just pick up the gun and just keep going. The guy in front of you dies, you go grab his gun and keep going. I mean, it's just like not a good strategy. You know what I mean? And if it wasn't for, the Allies, Russia probably would have lost. So I just think it's a bad business strategy to just, hope that like everything else, like, will just continue to recycle. I just don't think it works like that. I mean, I've watched these, like, Lyric. He was like the #1 Twitch streamer at one point. Now he's like way down on the list. He's not even top. Like, he was literally the top Twitch streamer back when I was watching Twitch, like 20,000-30,000 views. I was like the top dog. Like, if he was streaming, nobody else was getting views like your other top streamers. And now he's like at the bottom of the list. I mean, he still streams like 5-6 days a week, doing the same thing he's always done. But it's just like other people come in.
There's part you just said part of it though.
Right, I know, I get that. And so like other people come in, but like that, I'm also saying like how easy it is for these top people, like how much sway they have, right? I mean, like,
no, and I get that, but like you literally just said, doing the same thing he's always done. He's got 2.9 million followers.
It seems like a lot, but that's not even top 50.
It's not, but that's a lot of followers in the grand scheme, right? But if he's doing the same thing and he's not doing anything innovative, like, eventually it gets stale, similar to like show formats, which is why every once in a while we throw it for a loop and we change and do something completely different, right? Like, if you do the same show all the time, every time, people will stop watching it. Like, yes, there are series that are out there that are like The Simpsons. Let's use The Simpsons for an example. They've been around for what, almost 30 years now? I mean, the same concept of the show. Like, but the content is always different. That show began in 1987.
Yep, I was 7 years old.
Yeah. And then had the first real show like on Fox, like begin like airing all the time in 1990. Like it's been on for 33 seasons, but they've been creative enough that they were able to change some things and make it a little bit different, right? If you go for years and it's the same show, people stop watching.
Sure.
And I think that's part of why Lyric fell off a little bit. I watched this stuff and I literally felt like I was watching the same thing day after day. And it just doesn't.
Games change, but I mean,
right. But like,
I just think
you do it differently. Here's one thing I'll say you do well. Depending on what you're playing, your demeanor is different when you're playing.
yeah.
Like when I watch your streams, like if you're playing with a buddy and you have a different relationship with that buddy, or you're talking in Discord and you're like chatting back and forth, your stream is different than when you are on your own, right? And you're just talking with the chat.
Sometimes I wonder if that like makes me lack, because like sometimes I feel like consistency, like you need a good consistent base before you start getting crazy. You know what I mean?
I don't think that that's like having your Discord chat going at the same time is crazy. I think that for me, it's more interesting because now there's somebody else involved in the conversation, right? Like you can talk to your chat all you want, but like if you have a second person in the room that's playing with you, like when you're playing Tarkov and you've got multiple people in and we can hear what they're doing, even though we can't necessarily see what they're doing, we get a feel for what's going on their screen too. Right. Yeah. And that's a different feel. And then like when you play other games, like, you know, you have it's a different setup. It's like it's watching a different show with the same person kind of doing the show. If that makes sense. And that's the kind of stuff I like. Like I watch Fran Mirabella, who is also part of was kind of funny for a long time. The guy played Destiny for God knows, I don't know how many like nights in a row. Like, but when he played with other people, it was a different show than it was when he played by himself because of the interactions with the other people. Like when you played Lego Star Wars, it's a totally different show than when you play Tarkov.
Yeah.
Right?
I get that.
And that's like, with Lyric, I didn't ever feel that way. I felt like he could be playing multiples of the same game or multiple games, and I felt like it was the same show. I didn't feel like it was different.
So did he lack personality? I haven't watched him, so
no, it wasn't that. I mean, honestly, I think what it was is he just was never really been trendy enough. Yeah. If that makes sense. I think where Lyric lacks is outside of Twitch. Like social medias, Instagram, Twitter, posting clips, like, you know what I mean? Like all these bigger people are like posting funny clips, you know, stuff like that. That's not really his style.
Well, and some of these people have hired other people to do it.
Yeah.
Well, right. Like they've got somebody that goes into their channel and clips it for them and then does it.
I also think he doesn't want to be that big in a way. So I think that's a big part of it too. Like I think he's comfortable with his corner of the internet and just wants to keep it like that. But one thing he's always done really well, I mean, he doesn't lack personality at all because he's really good at making games like seem really fun. You know, those kind of content creators they could sell you any game because they're just always being able to make it look fun.
Some of his stuff is just off the wall games though too.
Yeah, well, true, but like I feel like Markiplier is another one of those people. He can like just totally sell me a game, and then I play it. I'm like, why am I not having as much fun with this? Yeah, you know.
No, I could see that. I just think that if you've got a ton of followers, and I know you're like 2.5K, right? Like
something like that.
You're a little over 2,000, right? But like when you've got a bunch of followers, it's different. Like I follow a ton of people. I don't have many followers. I also don't stream on as regular of a basis as I should. I did during the pandemic, like because I had extra time because I wasn't commuting an hour each way. You know, that makes a big difference.
Yeah, I know that difference.
Yeah,
I'm on that now.
The commute makes a huge difference. But I thought that like overall, I think there's ways that you can do things that can still keep people interested, like put clips from the shows, put until Athena-scope closed, like it was easy to do that. Like they just closed it recently. Like it would auto do your clips for you. And it would pull like all your kills from one clip session, right? So you could just do like a complete set of all your kills in Fortnite or in Warzone or whatever. And that was an awesome service that they offered, but they closed. So now it's like, all right, so now I have GG Eclipse or whatever it's called, or Eclipse GG or whatever. And essentially they do the same thing, but it takes longer than it did for Athena-scope. So like if I'm playing a bunch and I'm streaming, I can pull those clips and then I can make it easier to use it on social media and stuff. And I used it every once in a while. And I think that was where I got the majority of my interactions was on Twitter or on Instagram, even though I hate Instagram still to this day. I know it's like the kids' hip thing to be on. Like, oh, how many Insta followers do you have? I don't really care. Like, but I get why putting my content on there caught people's attention, because they're scrolling through and they see something that has the same hashtag they were looking for or something else, right?
Right.
But I don't think you need to be a great player to be a great creator.
Facts.
And I think that's where it's an interesting piece, because you have some of these guys that are really good players, but they're boring as heck to watch.
Yeah.
And like, I want to watch somebody who's going to be entertaining. If they get mad when they die, okay, great. You know, or like the Tim the Tap Man thing where he was just dying constantly and couldn't get a win or whatever on Fall Guys. I thought that was hilarious. I thought he did a great job at like promoting the fact that he sucked at that game. Like, I'm also the guy though that had a series on YouTube called Games I Suck At, where I would play games that I was bad at and like talk about why I thought that I was bad at those games. But I don't know, there's just a lot of ways you can create content and a lot of places you can do it. So if Twitch isn't going to be your jam and then like you feel like they aren't like doing the things that you need them to do as a creator, there are other outlets. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just like a really big component of just like, that's just not the right mentality.
Well, they know they're the best one.
I think it's arguable.
Well, I think they think they're the best. So they're like, if you don't like it, you can go elsewhere and see if the grass is greener. I
literally just think they're brain dead. Like, they literally don't think they know what they're doing.
It's possible.
But I mean, I think they just got too big for their britches. Didn't know what to do. They got bought out by Amazon. Amazon just went way too corporate with it, and that's kind of where we lost the connection. Is because it's just too many connections, too many links. You know, it got too big for itself, and I think that's why they all suck. Is because once they go corporate, that's like it, and it's like, yep, that's a wrap. Like, we had a good run, everybody, but now unfortunately we have to, you know, work by these rules, and everyone, you know, HR gets involved, and
and one thing I've seen working at a couple of places, once corporate gets involved, they kill the true essence of what the company or thing was, whatever the thing was. It's just like where like when I started out, I use music for example. When I started out DJing, like literally you could play whenever you want if you thought it was hot and the people thought it was hot. Now you can't do that. So the same with gaming. So it's like once corporate got involved, it's like, I took the fun out of it.
Yeah.
So
no, it's all about the Benjamins. So ultimately, like, you can play some Puffy and get away with it where you want to, but like, y'all know, in the end of the day, if people aren't getting their cut, they're not going to be happy about it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a problem. Yeah.
So
I agree with that, but that it just kind of goes back to my main argument is that I understand it's about money. I just think they have the wrong money business practices because I think they will lose out on money if they continue to do this. Like, I do think people will leave. Do I think some people take the place? Of course, but I just think overall you're gonna be in the red.
It'd be interesting to see what the difference between 50 and 30% is, though.
20%. I mean,
no, but I mean, what's the dollar? What's the total overall dollar amount if they lose? Let's say they lose their top 50 streamers, but they gain 150 more that they have to run ads at the beginning of their show every time. Because you can, if you have like beyond affiliate, what's the next one? It's like, what's the next step up from affiliate? Is it partner?
Partner.
So if you have a partner status, you don't have to run their ad, right? And then if you're an affiliate, you can choose to run ads multiple times during your show. So like we could go in and log in and be like, okay, we're going to run an ad now. We're like, this episode's brought to you by, and we just hit a button and it runs an ad.
Right.
So they make the revenue off of that too.
I mean, you can do that as affiliate.
Right. That's what I'm saying. As affiliate, you can do that as well. But as a partner, you don't have to run ads if you don't want to.
Right. So I think the only differences on partner is like you can turn off that initial ad.
Right. Right. That's what I'm saying. That initial ad that they make money on from the affiliates.
You can turn that off.
You can turn that off. Difference.
Yeah.
Right. So they're not making as much money on it as they could be if everybody that logged in to watch that 2 million people. It's just like I don't have to watch ads if I'm subscribed to that person. But then they take their portion of the subscription cut, right?
70%.
Yeah.
Or 30%.
30%.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's just a different beast. But we, as always, we're over on time. I mean, never fail. And that wasn't even on our topics to discuss, but I think it was a good one.
Yeah, I threw it on there, but
yeah. Originally, I knew it wasn't there, but like to get that deep into it, we were going to talk a little bit. But I mean, like we just took a deep dive. We had a bunch of other topics.
A long list.
Yeah, a huge list. Well, why don't we save a few of these can be saved for next week for sure. We are hopeful that we will have a guest next week or the following week, but we're waiting on some news to find that out, which we can't talk about right now on the show, but we're close.
Yeah, I'm close on getting a guest, and this is going to be a good one. So we might have back-to-back guests.
That would be okay. That would be good. But keep in mind, everybody that's watching the show, like we do our best to try to stay within our hour time frame. Sometimes we go a little over. Very rarely are we under. But we hope
we don't try anymore.
We've tried to stay under, and then it just kind of keeps going and going.
It's good. It's good discussions.
Yeah, it's good. So thanks to everybody for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show. We'll continue to bring it to you every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Tay is pointing at follow him on social media. Everybody knows the thing. Yeah, they know where it's at this point. I'm glad that it's
Go Red Legs.
Did they lose again today?
I don't know. I just saw they're winning, but
I need my numbers up. Follow me. Follow me.
Yeah.
Follow me.
Something tells me the Reds are probably losing at this point. But if you're a big fan of baseball, you don't have much to watch in Cincinnati. And for the record, they are already losing at this point. As we get ready to close the show, they are down 6-2 against the Brewers.
Yeah.
So
we 3-20.
Yeah, they're on pace to only win like 25 games.
Wow.
Could be the worst season in their history with the way they're going, but hopefully they turn it around. I'm not very I don't think it's going to happen, but Mark's always Mr. Positive when it comes to the sports teams in Cincinnati, right? So he says go Red Legs. We'll still say go Red Legs. I wish they would just figure it out. But the Brewers are really good and we are not. So next Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. Be sure to join us. Come by all of our social media platforms and check us out. Be sure to give us a follow on Facebook. It's facebook.com/CONINTPOD. Thanks to Frisch's and Game Day. Quick shout out to them for sponsoring the show, and we will see you all next week.
Goodbye.
Deuces. The